It's Thursday, July 16th, 2026. You're listening to the DX Today AI Daily Brief. Today, Nvidia's chief executive lands in Tokyo and declares the beginning of Japan's AI era with a sweeping set of robotics and infrastructure partnerships. Taiwan Semiconductor posts a record quarterly profit, up 77% on relentless AI chip demand. And Apple Intelligence wins approval to launch in China, powered by Alibaba's Qwen models. Let's get into it.
Nvidia Chief Executive Jensen Huang capped a visit to Tokyo by declaring this the beginning of Japan's AI era, unveiling a wave of partnerships spanning the country's industrial heavyweights. Nvidia is teaming with manufacturers including Fanuc, Toyota, NEC, Kawasaki Heavy Industries, and Mitsubishi Electric to advance what Huang calls physical AI, the autonomous control of robots for factories and industry. Huang said that with artificial intelligence, robots will become smart, easily adaptable, and accessible. The centerpiece is a plan with SoftBank to build Japan's largest AI factory, a national-scale computing hub built on Nvidia's Blackwell platform to power the country's sovereign AI ambitions. It was Huang's first official visit to Japan in roughly 9 months, and it positions the country squarely in the center of the global robotics race.
From Tokyo to Taiwan's record books.
Taiwan Semiconductor manufacturing company delivered its fifth straight record quarter on Thursday, and the numbers were emphatic. Second quarter net profits surged 77% from a year earlier to roughly $22 billion, far ahead of analyst estimates. Revenue came in at $40.2 billion, up nearly 34%, hitting the very top of the company's own guidance. High-performance computing, the segment that includes AI processors for customers like Nvidia, now accounts for 66% of total revenue. Gross margin climbed to nearly 68%, helped by cost improvements and packed factories. The company's newest 2-nanometer process has already begun contributing revenue as it ramps toward mass production. Investors are now watching whether management raises its full-year outlook on the strength of AI demand.
The chip equipment story is just as strong.
ASML, the Dutch company whose lithography machines make advanced chips possible, beat expectations across the board in its second quarter results on Wednesday. Total net sales reached €9.3 billion, with net income of €2.9 billion, both ahead of analyst forecasts. The bigger headline was guidance. ASML now expects full-year 2026 revenue of €43 to €45 billion, a raise of roughly 16% at the midpoint from its earlier forecast. The company credited artificial intelligence adoption across a widening set of applications, with demand split almost evenly between logic and memory customers. ASML plans to ship 60 of its extreme ultraviolet machines this year, about a 25% increase over last year, and executives even signaled room to raise prices on some equipment.
Now to a long-awaited approval in China.
Apple cleared one of its biggest remaining hurdles in China on Wednesday. The Cyberspace Administration of China approved Apple Intelligence for launch in the country on the back of a deal that integrates Alibaba's Qwen AI models into Apple's operating systems, including the software that runs iPhones, iPads, and Macs. Apple had completed the required regulatory filing earlier this month, and the approval appeared in the regulator's latest batch of licensed generative AI services. The green light matters enormously for Apple, which has watched Chinese rivals lean hard on AI features while its own flagship intelligence suite sat on the sidelines in one of its most important markets. It is also a win for Alibaba, whose Qwen models now sit inside one of the world's most valuable consumer ecosystems.
Next, a debut from Mira Murati's lab.
Thinking Machines Lab, the startup founded by former OpenAI Chief Technology Officer Mira Murati, released its first in-house model on Wednesday, an open-weight system called Inkling. The model uses a mixture of experts' design with 975 billion total parameters, though it activates only about 41 billion for any given task. a structure meant to deliver frontier-scale capability at a fraction of the running cost. Inkling ships under the permissive Apache license, making it freely available for companies to run and modify. The release amounts to a bet against one-size-fits-all AI, positioning thinking machines as a champion of customizable open models in a market dominated by closed frontier systems. For a company that raised billions before shipping anything, this is the first real look at its direction.
Money is moving in healthcare too.
Neko Health, the preventive health startup co-founded by Spotify chief executive Daniel Ek, closed a $700 million Series C on Wednesday, one of the largest health technology rounds of the year. Lightspeed Venture Partners led the round, co-led by OG Venture Partners, with existing backers Atomico, General Catalyst, and Lakestar participating alongside new investors. The raise values the company at nearly $7 billion, roughly 4 times its worth in early 2025. Neko operates full-body scanning clinics that use artificial intelligence for non-invasive diagnostics, aiming to catch disease before symptoms appear. The company says the new capital will fund its expansion into the United States, bringing its scan and detect model of preventive medicine to the largest healthcare market in the world.
A coding startup hits unicorn status.
Emergent, the AI coding startup with roots in India, raised $130 million in Series C funding at a $1.5 billion valuation, making it a unicorn just over a year after launch. TechCrunch reports the round was led by private equity firm Creaegis, with participation from new investors including Sentinel Global and existing backers such as Khosla Ventures, SoftBank's Vision Fund 2, Lightspeed, and Y Combinator. The valuation represents a 5-fold jump in only 6 months, a pace that captures just how hot the market for AI coding tools has become. Emergent builds agentic tools that let users create working software applications from natural language prompts, competing in a crowded field where developer platforms have become some of the fastest-growing products in technology.
Identity security lands a huge seed round.
A startup called Oak emerged from stealth on Wednesday with a $60 million seed round, one of the largest seed financings in security this year. The round was co-led by 3 heavyweight firms, Accel, CRV, and Greylock Partners. Oak is building what it describes as an AI-native identity operating system, a unified control plane for governing who and what can access an organization's systems. That includes not just employees and applications, but AI agents themselves, a category of digital identity that barely existed 2 years ago, and is now multiplying inside enterprises faster than security teams can track. The size of the round reflects investor conviction that identity, not the network edge, is where the next generation of enterprise security will be won or lost.
2 industrial giants join forces.
3M and Microsoft announced a strategic partnership on Wednesday aimed at the physical backbone of the AI boom. Under the deal, Microsoft's Azure becomes the first announced hyperscale cloud provider to deploy 3M's expanded beam optical technology, a fiber connection system designed for the density and speed that modern AI data centers demand. In return, 3M will adopt Microsoft's AI and digital platforms across its own business functions as part of a company-wide transformation. The partnership pairs Microsoft's hyperscale infrastructure with 3M's materials science and precision manufacturing, and 3M has helped establish a multi-source agreement to standardize the optical technology for broader industry adoption. It is a reminder that the AI race is increasingly being decided by cables, cooling, and connectors.
Washington makes its own announcements.
President Trump headlined the 2026 Pennsylvania Defense and Innovation Summit at the U.S. Army War College in Carlisle on Wednesday, announcing nearly $10 billion in new investment across the state's defense industrial base. The 2-day summit convened more than 1,300 attendees, including over 600 executives, and produced more than 30 separate announcements spanning shipbuilding, munitions, space, artificial intelligence, and robotics. Companies including Gecko Robotics committed new investment in AI and machine learning research, and organizers say the package will support more than 4,000 jobs across Pennsylvania. The summit underscores how defense modernization has become one of the strongest currents pulling AI investment, with emerging technologies now framed as central to American industrial strategy rather than a sideshow to it.
Europe weighs in on frontier models.
The European Commission's AI office published new expert findings on frontier artificial intelligence on Wednesday, examining what the most advanced models mean for European competitiveness, sovereignty, and security. The findings feed into a broader regulatory push taking shape in Brussels this month, including a coordinated action plan on cybersecurity and artificial intelligence, and work with the bloc's cybersecurity agency on a secure testing platform for AI models used in critical sectors, targeted for the end of this year. The direction is clear. Europe wants independent, evidence-based evaluation of powerful models before they reach hospitals, power grids, and financial systems, a posture closer to how medicines and aircraft are certified than how software has traditionally shipped. How that ambition balances against speed of adoption remains the open question.
Finally, an internet pioneer takes on agents.
Vint Cerf, one of the architects of the protocols behind the open internet, announced on Wednesday that he is advising Innovation Labs, an organization building open infrastructure for AI agents to identify themselves online. Innovation Labs is a subsidiary of Identity Digital, a domain name registry company, and has proposed a standard that links every AI agent to an existing internet domain and uses cryptographic proofs to log its registration over time. The group says it is already trialing the approach with several unnamed hyperscalers and identity companies. Cerf, who recently ended a 2-decade run at Google, told TechCrunch the core questions are what authority an agent has, who is accountable for its behavior, and why anyone should trust it. Just like the early internet, he argues, adoption will be decided by users.
That's your briefing for Thursday, July 16th, 2026. For DX Today, stay curious.